The car spun out of control, screeching tires, a deafening crash. Then, silence. Everything went black. When John opened his eyes, he was in a hospital bed, unable to feel his legs. The doctor's words were clear, but devastating. "You may never walk again." John had always been active. He loved hiking, running, and playing basketball with his friends. But now, all of that seemed like a distant dream. At first, he couldn't believe it. He tried to move his legs, hoping it was all a mistake. Nothing. Frustration and fear took over. "How am I supposed to live like this?" he thought. Days turned into weeks, and John's hospital room felt smaller every day. Friends came to visit, but their pitying looks only made him feel worse. He'd lost not only his mobility, but also his sense of purpose. But one day, a nurse came in with a wheelchair and a challenge. "Let's start small," she said. "Let's see if you can move from the bed to the chair." John hesitated. He'd never used a wheelchair before. It felt like giving up. But something inside him whispered, "You have to try." With the nurse's help, he moved into the chair for the first time. It wasn't much, but it was a start. From that day on, John made a promise to himself. He would keep moving forward, no matter how small the steps. Physical therapy sessions became his new battleground. At first, even the simplest tasks felt impossible. Lifting a small weight, stretching his arms, practicing balance. He failed more times than he succeeded, but he kept showing up. Each session was a mix of pain and progress. And every time he wanted to quit, he reminded himself, "This is how I take my life back." Months passed, and John's determination began to pay off. He learned how to use his wheelchair with skill and confidence. He started venturing out of the house, first to the park, then to local events. People began to notice his determination. "You're inspiring," they'd say. But John didn't feel like a hero. To him, it was simple. He refused to let his circumstances define him. One day, John heard about a wheelchair basketball league. At first, he laughed at the idea. "Basketball? Like this?" he said to himself, but the idea stuck. He remembered how much he loved the game. Just maybe, this was his chance to feel alive again. Nervously, he showed up for a tryout. The players were fast, skilled, and intense. John felt out of place, but then he saw something familiar in their eyes. Determination. The first practice was a disaster. John struggled to keep up. He missed passes, lost control of his chair, and felt completely out of his depth. But he remembered his promise to himself, keep moving forward. He came back the next day and the next. Slowly, he got better. He learned how to maneuver his chair with precision, how to anticipate plays, and how to shoot from a seated position. For the first time in months, he felt like part of a team again. John's confidence grew with each practice. His teammates became his second family, pushing him to be better every day. And then, the moment came. His first game. The gym was packed. The sound of the crowd was deafening. John's heart raced as he wheeled onto the court. The game was fast and intense. Every pass, every shot, every movement felt like a victory. And when John scored his first basket, the crowd erupted in cheers. Tears filled his eyes. He'd done it. Years later, John looked back on that moment as the turning point. He realized that his accident didn't end his life. It changed it. He became an advocate for people with disabilities, sharing his story to inspire others. He showed the world that being paralyzed didn't mean being powerless. His journey wasn't about what he'd lost, but about what he'd gained: resilience, purpose, and a new perspective on life. John's story is proof that even when life knocks you down, you can rise in ways you never imagined. Determination can turn obstacles into opportunities and pain into power. So, when you face your own challenges, remember John's journey. Take it one step at a time, and never stop moving forward. Your story isn't over yet. And if you want to hear another inspiring story, don't miss our last video, The Boy Who Found Success by Failing 100 Times. It's a powerful reminder that failure is just the beginning of success. Click now to watch and keep thriving.